18:30 on a Wednesday. So that means that while I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to you. Meta. But for now, this will actually be the last Sunday vlog for now. After this, we will be going back to a regular weekly schedule because bi-weekly is actually kind of exhausting. It was fun, but exhausting. Got some more bats carded. Let's make another beautiful Blue Texel skein. Do you think I'll fit over there with my head? Let's see. Yeah, just barely. It's not getting old. Blue Texel, no, this is a lasting love affair, I think. Which, to be honest, has my husband saying stuff like, I am also a big chungus that wants cuddles. Yeah, you know, sometimes YouTube and daily life, they don't go as well together as you want it, and Tour de Fleece is actually one of the prime examples of that. But luckily I have a very supporting husband who during Tour de Fleece now has actually been cooking more of the meals than he usually would, so that I have time to film and edit more. So if you wonder how I manage a weekly upload on YouTube and also manage a full-time job, that is because one, I have a very supportive husband, and secondly, I don't have children. I think that's a rather big reason why. I also try to make at least 3 weeks of backlog on videos. So before Tour de Fleece, I already started some projects that I know that I will finish before the end of Tour de Fleece, so that I can give you content right after Tour de Fleece without burning myself out. I think this is going to be my 130th video, if I'm correct. I might not be, because math has never been my strongest point. But yeah, 130 videos. So yeah, that's 2 years every week, more than 2 years every week, without taking a week off. You've been getting a video from me every week. And when I'm saying not taking a week off, then I'm saying that I have scheduled a video every week. I did take weeks off. I go on holidays, but since I work with such a backlog, I can do that. I can give myself the freedom of going on holidays, taking a couple of weeks off, or working on bigger projects without actually getting stressed about time or getting burned out. I think that is a system I had to impose upon myself because I have a rather nervous and anxious disposition, so burnout is something I really have to take actual preventative measures for. And I did, and now we are 2 years further and I'm still going strong, not tired of it yet, not at all. However, anxious about it? Yeah, quite often. I have actually turned off notifications on my YouTube Studio app because the constant stream of information was kind of giving me anxiety. So in that sense, YouTube is like a double-edged sword. It's super cool to see the numbers go up when you post a video, both in views and subscribers, but it also gives me quite a bit of anxiety. Like now, this Tour de Fleece has been algorithmically speaking, great. The growth has been quite exponential. I think there are now 500 more people subscribed to this channel than there were at the start of Tour de Fleece. That is insane, actually, to think about. 500 people. That's a small theater venue, or a rather big theater venue actually. But when there's more people joining in, my brain gives me the feeling that you're not good enough for those 500 people now, are you? It's a thing I have to combat quite often. I've had this feeling somewhere halfway down Tour de Fleece, like, oh no, I'm getting so much anxiety, I'm just going to stop doing it altogether. Which is silly, of course, because I like crafting. I like talking about my craft. I like making videos, so I also don't have much fiber friends IRL that I can like nerd out about my craft too. So everything about this is a plus, but also it sometimes gives me kind of anxiety. But like everything in the world gives me anxiety, so nothing new there. So yeah, if anyone is ever considering making their own channel, turning off the notifications of your YouTube Studio app is my number one tip for you all to keep your sanity. It's now 9 o'clock. I've got like one bat in. I'm going to like take all my stuff, put it back inside to survive the night. And then I'm just going to read, I guess. It's 9 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to edit today. That's beyond my mental capacities for today. Look at my flowers, aren't they pretty? There we go, we're back inside in the studio. Ta-da! I'll see you tomorrow, but then I will be at my monthly crafting get-together, so I won't be spinning the Blue Texel tomorrow. That will be the Pollen Gold tomorrow. Anyway, as you may or may not be able to see, the battery of my microphone is about to die, so I'm going to have it charged over there. I'm also really curious because this is like the second transmitter that I have for my microphone, because Wednesday's video, all of the talking that I did was like it was recorded in mono and put on a stereo track in DaVinci Resolve, but I am recording normally in stereo. So I'm wondering whether it is something with the other transmitter or something with DaVinci Resolve. We shall see. But first let's charge it, because without a battery it's not going to record anything at all. Anyway, good night, sleep tight, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, I am off to work, and as I said yesterday, then we will be off to my monthly crafting group. So that means I've got my bag with my lunch and my agenda and all the stuff I need for work. I've got my bag with my normal clothes, because I'm not going to work like this. Because I'm having to see people and they have to see me. And then I have my bag with my spindles and my Pollen Gold braid. Now let's try and get them all in my bike. Good to go. See you later. Hi, good evening. It is now 10 in the evening. I have very much helmet face, and I also had a very lovely day crafting and working, but also like right before I went to the craft get-together, I stopped by the thrift store for a moment and I found this neat book about adding all kinds of embroidery to your clothes. Found some cool sock yarn, but never thought I would find this at the a thrift store. Actual fleece. I'm not sure what sheep it is. Yeah, it's matted in some places, but I can work with that. But of course, first it's going to get some quarantine. Possibly in the oven or the freezer, because we don't want to be having thrifted moths over here now, do we? I'm going to give the same treatment to these actually, just to be sure. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. Like, how do we find this at a thrift store? Future video incoming anyway, but first quarantining it. As I said, it is past 10 o'clock. That means it's also past my regular bedtime. I'm going to go to sleep. So that means no work on the Blue Texel is done, and tomorrow I just have to work my day. Saturday I'll be going to my mom, and Sunday I also have some social stuff planned. It's I'm getting a little bit like, not scared, scared's not the right word, but you know, I would have wanted to finish this skein until before the end of Tour de Fleece, but it seems like it might not work. It's a bad idea to plan social stuff, you know, final week of Tour de Fleece. Bad idea, don't do that. One advice, don't do that. See you tomorrow. I can sit back at the wheel again. This really has felt like it's been so long since I've spun on the wheel, while I know, like, objectively it isn't, but I missed it. Like, quite a lot. So let's do it. However, I am slightly pivoting my plans. I spun one bed on this bobbin and I'm going to keep it at that. I'm going to make no longer a 4-bed skein for this, but a 2-bed skein. And if everything goes smoothly and I have no more hiccups time-wise, then I might make 2 skeins, and then I do finish my 4 beds that I had carded. But Team Chaos Goblin has made a spreadsheet on which we count our meterage. But you can only count the meterage that was spun during Tour de Fleece. So if I have to ply on Monday, then that skein doesn't count according to our own rules that we have put on ourselves. Yeah, so I'm going to play it safe, just for like counting the meters, and make smaller skeins right now. And the sentences I'm going to say next are going to baffle all of you, especially with what I have said in the previous minute, is that while I am super happy to be back at my wheel, you need to go through the orifice with your leader. That's kind of a requisite. Now, as I was saying, while I am happy to be back at the wheel, to be spinning again, I will also be rather happy to be done with Tour de Fleece right now. I love Tour de Fleece. I love spinning all the time, and I love the amount of yarn that we made. But I'm so itching to start knitting with it. For real, I've been just browsing Ravelry as kind of a relief to my very, very, very itchy knitting itch. And you're allowed to know. You're allowed to know that after all these days of Tour de Fleece, I'm actually aching to do some knitting again. One of you wanted to know if sometimes I also get fed up with projects because I need to make them to film them. No, absolutely not. Like, none of my projects are actually projects that I make because I film them. I just happen to film my projects that I want to make. This is why mostly you don't see me do any kind of trends or hop on special days, unless it's something I really want to, like Star Wars Day I did, Granny Square Day, those kind of stuff, which is, I don't know, no shade to anyone who makes project for the content, but the only way that I think is sustainable, both, in the stuff that you churn out, and also for yourself to not get burnout. I'm also only like 2 years into making videos, so it could be that after a while I am just making projects for the videos because I already have everything that I want for myself. Is possible. Is possible. I don't know. I don't have future sight. And hindsight is always 20/20. Come on, come back. Why are you stuck? Something is stuck. How did my most latest spin get underneath all the rest? This is weird. What has happened? It is now 8 o'clock. I have started applying this 2-bed skein, but I think right now it is time to start editing the first part of this vlog so that I don't have to do it all on Saturday, because that would be too much, even for me. My husband and I actually share one computer, and he's using it now. But he said it's only going to be 5 minutes. Got a little closer so we can do some editing together. Now, before we do any actual editing on this vlog, let's first check out what the sound issue was with Wednesday's video, and whether or not I have to do something special to today's, well, Sunday's today. For you today, for me Sunday. It was a recording issue, because I'm not hearing anything in the left either, just from the raw recording material. So that's a mystery solved, and I hope that this transmitter that I'm using now fixes it. And if it doesn't, we'll see what I do. It's still an issue, so I guess I'm just going to have to put all my audio tracks, or actually all my tracks, on a mono track. We'll see how that works out. I'm not very technical. Anyway, what I use to edit is DaVinci Resolve. I don't know if you wanted to know. I'm just showing you anyway, taking you on a little behind the scenes for this vlog. Because what else would I be doing? There we go, new timeline, and then just flop all of this there. But that's all boring stuff, so I'm going to see you tomorrow. Boop. Should actually have more headspace over here. Let's fix the camera a bit. Not that I'm always this particular about my frames, but let's get a little bit of applying in, for today is Saturday, and traditionally on Saturdays I go on a little hiking date with my mom. And I'm going to do that today, because both my torn ligament and my plantar fasciitis are acting in a manner that is manageable. It's not entirely pain-free, but it is manageable. I'm going to take full advantage of that and probably hurt myself even more, because that's just the way I roll. So, it might not be an actual chungus again, but it's a nice enough filled bobbin, and I got it done within the confines of Tour de Fleece, and that is the most important thing. I will skein this up tonight, because now I'm going to go off and hike with my mom before we get trapped in the dead heat of the day. See you later. I'm back. And I might have had a little case of hyperfocus, and now My Pollen Gold braid is entirely spun up on my spindles. All of it. The full 100 grams. That wasn't a Tour de Fleece goal that I have set for myself, but now that I have achieved it, it felt like a goal that I wanted to achieve, and I'm really happy about it. All the Pollen Gold. Nice. Now, as promised, let's skein the blue tassel that we made, or that we applied this morning, and see how much that is. Not a chungus, but a very good, solid skein of 257.6 meters. That's not bad actually for just 2 bats. Yeah, and it's still, it's the blue tassel. I love it thoroughly because of all of this, all different tones of grey. It's just beautiful, it's soft, it's everything. I have been saying this for 6 vlogs. Or no, not true, because the first 2 were just Suffolk, but a couple of vlogs of blue tassel. Love all everywhere. It's not wanting so much yarn. With 1 day of Tour de Fleece still to go, this is what we have. That's heavy. That's a lot. Like, you see this? So much yarn. And there is still an entire day to go. I said I have some social stuff tomorrow, but that it's actually my friends coming over for a craft afternoon. Emphasis on craft, so who knows what I'll get done. Anyway, let's play a little game. The next video will be me totaling all the numbers of all the skeins I spun, but let us hear in the comments, how much meters or kilometers of yarn do you think that I have spun over these, 4 weeks? What is it? Yes, 4 weeks of Tour de Fleece. Let me know down below what is your guesstimate. And the prize will be my everlasting RESP ECG, of course. Actually, respect. Who also have my everlasting RESP ECG are the members of Team Chaos Goblin, and this is why. Again, if you see an ad in front of their names, that means that this is a social media channel account that I highly encourage you to check out. And furthermore, all that there is left to say is, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. Bye!